Hey everyone, welcome to This Week in Hearthstone week number 8, our weekly news recap series where we take a look at the world of news of Hearthstone for the last week. And there was a lot that went on this week, but we're going to open up with our top story. Firebat has been relegated from Grandmasters and has announced that he will no longer be playing Hearthstone competitively. He is done, not doing it anymore. That's it. You're not going to see Firebat at Grandmaster events, at Master Tour events, World Championships, anything like that. And I wanted to just pay tribute to the man. He's the first ever Hearthstone World Champion, one of the great ambassadors of the game competitively as a streamer. He did a lot of awesome work with like Omnistone or Omnislash, that team. He's now on F2K right now, Fade to Karma. He's on that team with us, and he's done some amazing work. Charity streams, has awesome streams. His YouTube channel's great. And I just wanted to, just pay my respects. When I started playing Hearthstone, right out the gate, he was one of the first personalities I ever, started getting engaged with, following. He's a huge inspiration to me when I got started in content creation. Someone I've always looked up to tremendously. I remember when I saw him cast an event. He was spectacular in it. I thought he was a great caster, and then they never really brought him back. It never made sense to me, but I don't know. He's probably got his own story about why that didn't happen. But anyways, he got relegated in the Grandmasters games today. Didn't perform well enough, unfortunately. But he went onto Twitter to, announce as all the stuff that he's no longer there. And I guess he went onto Reddit and he put out a post kind of talking about stuff, so I thought I'd share that post. So basically, Firebat said he couldn't find anything that worked for me in this meta. He kept trying different things every week that nothing was really clicking, so he lost enough in the league to get relegated. If he's honest enough, I wasn't putting in the time to be necessary to play the level required to win championships. I was putting in the just enough to get by kind of energy and focusing on other things, YouTube, Twitch streams, moving into a new house, relationships. So I'd say it's a deserved relegation. Still hurts though, and I keep running back in my mind all the times I could have done a little more, or what the hell I was thinking with that Control Warrior or Highlander Hunter lineup. Even if I didn't like the current iteration of the system that much, I love competing and has done so much to enable me to be where I am today. He plans on continuing to make content, maybe not as much Hearthstone as content as before, but he still plans on trying to promote and help out the competitive scene whenever he can, so that others may be given the chance and the same opportunities he had. He knows how they switched it from YouTube now instead of Twitch, and it's a lot harder to follow. But he does recommend that if you have the chance to tune into the broadcasts, you can't recommend it enough. It's a life-changing program. It allowed him to take his passion, turn into something, and become a content creator. He knows that competitive Hearthstone gets memed on a lot, but he hopes it enables others to achieve their goals as well. So, really nice message from Firebat, and he will be tremendously missed, but I mean, he's still going to be streaming on Twitch. He's still going to be on YouTube. He's going to be a huge presence, and I honestly believe this will be better for him in the long run. He can focus more on being the amazing content creator he is, and yeah, just want to pay my respects to Firebat. Nothing but mad respect to him. And I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. So that's the top story. We're going to keep on this GM story. This is going to be the theme of This Week in Hearthstone. There's a lot of GM stuff. So Bloodyface went on to Twitter and posted a twit longer, as did Muzzy. They are both currently Grandmasters in the NA region. Both potentially might get relegated. That is not currently decided. I think Empenzino and Firebat are relegated on NA, but there's still other relegations up in the air. And basically, Bloodyface went on to talk about how the current system with Grandmasters, the way it is on YouTube, and the way basically it's not heavily promoted, the pay they get is not fantastic. Just everything about it is not great, and that he's been pretty vocal. He's been vocal before on Twitter about how he's contemplating just quitting Grandmasters entirely before even getting relegated. And yeah, he talks about in this post that, if he gets relegated, he's done with competitive Hearthstone. He's not going to bother. There's no point in trying to play back in. It's basically impossible in the current system. And Muzzy, basically, in his twit longer, is much longer, said very similar things, that his passion for Hearthstone has dipped, that the system isn't fantastic, and that yeah, if he gets relegated, he's done as well. And these are two absolutely phenomenal players. I believe Bloodyface to be the best player in the world personally. That's my opinion. I think he's amazing. Like, he's been World Championship lineup like back-to-back years. It might be a back-to-back-to-back potentially. Could do it 3 years in a row. and he just will step away because it's just not rewarding enough. And you're seeing a lot of that with these GMs and the way the system is, that, you know, it's just not there for them. So I'm going to get a little bit more onto that in a little bit later on when we go over the results of this week's GM stuff. But yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind that we've had Firebat, he's done with competitive, he's not going to bother anymore. We have Bloodyface and Muzzy both saying that they're not going to bother anymore. I mean, I have a friend, Papa Jason, who got relegated last season. He's done, he's not bothering anymore. He even went on Twitter to echo this sentiment, and it's just a really broken system. And again, I'll get onto that a little bit more, so stay tuned for that segment. It's going to be a little bit of a rant, so yeah. I want to keep one more news update before we get to that and the meta update on ladder. There was an announcement by Blizzard. We will be getting updates to Scholar Jaina and the new Uther portrait. There's, you know, I've posted multiple videos on this channel about it. How there's no voice lines, there's no animation, there's no new border, there's no new hero power, nothing. It's bare bones, and people haven't been very thrilled about it. So they've heard our feedback, and they have said that in a future patch, Uther and Jaina will both be receiving new voice lines. And there's a new Rexxar portrait coming out soon in the next Book of Heroes chapter, which is going to drop in a couple weeks or something. And they said that Rexxar will have voice lines. They're already in there. And I don't know if they're adding more, but they already said Rexxar has voice lines, so that's great. And they also said there will be other, like, portraits, you know, along with the Book of Heroes ones. There's going to be more that won't have new voice lines when they are up for sale, but they will update them to have new ones. So basically what they did is they wanted to try and get more portraits out to us quicker than ever before. And they kind of took a shortcut on the voice work, and yeah, I guess they've realized that, you know, people want the voice work stuff, they want that. My issue with this is they're not addressing the entire issue with this. Yes, we'll get the voice lines, that's great, but we're not getting new animations, we're still not getting the hero powers, all that stuff. It's still watered down, but whatever, it's something better. And, you know, the bundles, as long as they're well priced, like the last one, the Uther one, it was really well priced. The packs were pretty well worth it. It's just the portrait felt kind of crummy in it. But the packs was like 25 packs in a legendary for $25. It's a good deal. But, you know, we were kind of hoping for a little bit more. But yeah, we're getting at least voice updates, so you guys will know that. I might as well keep you guys posted on that. So if you are on the fence about buying Uther, which is currently in the shop still, and, you know, that was like the thing holding you back, then I can recommend purchasing it. And again, if you're only in it for the packs and the legendary, go nuts. It's a good value. You can't go wrong with it. Next, we're going to take a look at our weekly meta update in both Standard and Wild. Standard, Mage, and Demon Hunter are the kings of the ladder right now. Tempo Mage, Bullshit Mage as I call it, is just insanely powerful, very popular on ladder. And Soul Fragment Demon Hunter, the natural counter to Mage, is also very popular and has a very good spread. Meaty hit rank 1 legend playing it. There's a lot of success out there with it. But the deck I wanted to highlight this week, we like to highlight at least one off-meta deck, is Questurid. Questurid has popped back up in the meta. I saw Zeddy hit legend with it, Liquid Ox hit legend with it. And yeah, it basically counters Demon Hunter well. You have good removal with your, like, Oasis Surgers. You have healing and taunt. That's the main thing that really screws Demon Hunter over. You have your Oasis, whatever it's called. You know, you get your 6/6 taunt. You heal for 12. That's really powerful. So it's a natural counter to Soul Fragment Demon Hunter, which is very powerful. I don't think the deck is particularly great in the meta, but if you're queuing in a lot of Demon Hunter and you want to play some Questurid again, I think you can do well. And you can win other matchups. It's not a terrible deck, but, you know, it's kind of that flavor of the week, so you might want to give that one a go. And in Wild, same old meta. You have your Reno Priest, you have your Quest Mage, you have your aggro decks trying to counter these, and you have your high roll decks like Quest, you know, Q Block and whatever, you know, those usual decks. It's very, very much the same, but I thought I'd highlight two decks that have done pretty well. One's relatively off meta, one's a deck that we've highlighted before on the channel. First one being the off meta one, which is Anything Paladin. It's built around Polkelt and all that. You cheat out your tip the scales and your anything with your prismatic lens, and, you know, you cheese your opponents with early tip the scales or your early anything and do an insane amount of damage. I believe Concerned Mom had a really good record with this. He posted this on Twitter, and some people have had varying success with it. And then we'll also highlight Malagos Druid, which we've talked about a lot on this channel before. The main change to it is you run Sphere Sapience. It lets you, tutor your draws a little bit better, which gives it a little bit more consistency, and the deck can fare pretty well against both Quest Mage and Reno Priest. It just struggles against aggro because Spreading Plague, although good, is not nearly enough. But if you want to try out two somewhat different decks, you can definitely give these a go. And Malagos Druid, someone hit rank 1 Legend on NA with it, so it's done some work. You just have to hit that right meta. So our last segment on This Week in Hearthstone is always the results of this week's Grandmasters. And you know what? This is my rant. I cannot tell you the results of the Grandmasters because it's impossible to follow this crap. It's impossible. Play Hearthstone, their Twitter account, doesn't tweet any of the stuff. I went through their Twitter feed. There's literally nothing about Grandmasters at all, period, except for a retweet about Masters Tour in Montreal a month ago. So I couldn't find anything there. So I go to HS Esports Twitter. They post nothing about the results this weekend. Nothing. The only reason I know about Firebat and Empezito relegating is because they tweeted about it themselves. So I know that. But I'm looking at the standings on their site. It doesn't say anything about relegations. There's like a tentative schedule for next week about play-ins, about relegation rounds. So I'm guessing those guys will be playing for their relegation lives next week. But it doesn't say anything about the people that relegated on Asia or EU or even NA. And again, I only know that because of the tweet. So it looks like Silvername and Board Control have relegated, but I don't know if they have. They haven't tweeted anything about it. And I don't understand how you can have a competitive Hearthstone esports system where you don't even, advertise it. You don't post anything about it. Where I'm trying to create a weekly news segment to cover this, I have no clue what's going on. Nothing. I guess I'd have to go back and watch the YouTube VODs and hear what the casters are saying about it. That's probably the only way, but that's hours of time that I don't have, and nobody has that. There should be a simple resource to know what's going on, and they just don't give a shit about growing this game as a competitive esport. It's like they threw it on YouTube. They don't advertise it at all. They throw it on the Blizzard desktop browser as in a little box that it's live, and that's all you get. HS Esports Twitter account, which has 45,000 followers, they try a little bit. They tweet out that these matches are going to be going on, but that's all we get. And 99.9% of people are going to have no idea what's going on and only know about Firebat because of other people on Twitter or Firebat himself. And that's just unacceptable. How do you expect a game to grow without actually promoting it or advertising the players at the highest level of your game? It just doesn't make any sense, and it's super frustrating because I want to know who's getting relegated. I want to know what's going on. I'm interested. I care. I want to know what's going on in Hearthstone. That's why I do this whole weekly segment, but no. We don't even tell you. We don't advertise nothing. And it's driving me crazy. I even tweeted earlier today, before all this, there's only 4,000 viewers watching Grandmasters relegation stuff, including your first ever world champion Firebat. They're not even advertising on Play Hearthstone, nothing. And there's 4,000 viewers on YouTube, whereas I go over to Twitch, Savage has 5,000 viewers playing Battlegrounds. It's crazy how little effort or care they put into the system. And I know you can meme about competitive Hearthstone KEKW, but it's important to a lot of people. It's people's livelihoods. These Grandmasters, they put everything into it, and you can't even give a retweet from Play Hearthstone about relegations, about anything. I think it's garbage, and I don't understand why they don't do anything. It's very frustrating, and sorry for the rant, but my god, we want Hearthstone to thrive and succeed, and it's like they don't care. It's anyways, that's the Grandmaster results of the week. I have no clue. I guess they'll do relegation play-ins next weekend, and maybe we'll figure out through players' tweets who's in and who's out. Or you guys will tell me in the comments, because I overlooked it somehow. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys. As this goes live, we probably have 9,000 subs. I think we're like too short right now. So thank you guys for the 9K. That's incredible. And I can't wait till we hit 10K. Hopefully that happens soon. But thank you guys for continually watching the videos, hitting that sub button. And you have a great day. And stay salty, my friends. It's not that hard for me right now. Bye.